New nation goddess NNG. Find just what you see. 8 frequencies of elevation. Reach your highest frequency. She serving healing and education. Uplifting and motivating. NNG. New nation goddess. Hey, yo, check this. You are now tuned in to the Transcend NNG podcast with your host, Brittany Walker. New episodes on wealth and wellness Wednesdays.
Hey everybody, happy Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. You've made it to the Transcend with NNG podcast, where I am your host, Brittany Walker, also known as New Nation Goddess. We made it to episode 9 in season 3. It is Wednesday, July 12th, and we're going to jump right into it, tackling the 8th frequency of elevation, social synergy. So after every storm comes a rainbow. You know, we like to kick off each episode with an I am power statement. I representing inspiration, A representing affirmation, and M representing manifestation. And the I am power statement for today is, I am aware that our toughest tests will lead to the greatest awards. Therefore, we stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Ashe. So there it is. We also like to give you a book reference or a quote of the day. And today we're going to do a quote. And it's, everything will feel impossible right before a massive change takes place. Be strong. And that comes from the Spiritual Asylum. All right, guys. So, you know, we always are sipping on something good. And today we are actually sipping on, for those of you who are watching on Spotify and YouTube, Kit Cramp's Ass. Cramp Elixir does so many great things for the body, has so many different herbs that are great for detoxing the body. So, you know, we like to stay fresh and clean so that we can live wealthy. Let's go ahead and get right into it. It's going to be just how we wrap up the 8 frequencies of elevation. For the last 3 seasons, we have explained to y'all different ways that you can elevate yourself and transcend into who you're meant to be and who and what your purpose is in this lifetime. So do not allow obstacles to deter you from your path. I notice a lot of people will go through something that it did not work out in their benefit, or it didn't work out the way they wanted to, or they were told no. You got to be mindful that that no meant something. It wasn't meant for you to have that. Even though you really wanted it that bad, it wasn't meant for you, because something better is going to come along as long as you are doing what you're supposed to. You're living with integrity. You're manifesting what it is that you really want, with putting realistic actions behind it. You're moving in a good manner. You're being a positive person, an optimistic person. You're not always causing drama and bullshit. So you got to be mindful that if a no comes in your path, if something doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, it's because the universe, the Most High, the ancestors, they have something bigger in mind for you. They have something better in mind for you. And you have to learn how to deal with those obstacles when they come your way. You can't be a brat and say, oh, it didn't work out in my benefit. I'm so mad. I'm just going to give up. Okay, then you're never going to get to where you're manifesting for. You're never going to get to real wealth. You're never going to elevate to your highest self if you give up that easily. Do you think that all of the billionaires, the successful activists, the leaders, how we were discussing last episode, the real leaders, not who society is telling you who you should lead, but these really self-made entrepreneurs that are making strides, that are really serving and helping people, they went through plenty of obstacles. They just say, oh man, this didn't work out for my benefit, I'm just going to give up. That's the easy way out. It's the easy way out. Anything that's really rewarding is going to take time to get to. It's going to take patience. So be prepared that the universe just might be testing you. You're manifesting that you want something, but let me test you real quick, because are you really ready for it? And if you fail that test, why should I give you what you're manifesting if you can't even handle this obstacle? Start looking at things from that perspective, that things may not be working out in your benefit for a better, valuable reason. You have to look at it that way, guys. When I shifted my mind to start thinking like that, everything made so much more sense. I'm like, you know what? I really didn't want that job, because then I probably would have been working 60 hours a week and completely drained. Maybe I really didn't want that position because it was really feeding my ego versus me really wanting to help people. Maybe I didn't get to get that strategic partnership or work with that business because although that business is booming and all they got all these likes and all these followers, they really don't move with integrity and they really move kind of grimy. And do I really want to associate my business and everything that I'm working for with that or any other of the business endeavors that I deal with? No, I had to wake up and see like, okay, you are going to be tested. You can't say that you want something and then you get it. Let's even think about, okay, let's go back to high school. If you were on an athletics team, yeah, you might be the best basketball player in your family. But when you go to school or you go to that university and you're trying to apply out for the team, they just not gonna let you on there and be like, oh yeah, we heard you was good. We just gonna hand you, starting pointing guard position. We're gonna hand you team captain position. No, it don't work like that. You got to prove yourself. You have to work for it. And I don't believe in the term earning your leisure. I've talked about that before as I put up my quotation marks because I know that there's an organization or a business or a podcast, something like that along those lines about earning your leisure. I don't feel like we have to earn our leisure. We already come from abundance, so this shit is rightfully ours. However, I do believe when you are being tested or when you want to welcome new things in your life, you have to pass that test. And if you don't pass that test, why would God keep blessing you? Why would the universe keep bringing you what you want if you cannot pass that test or even handle that pressure or that energy or the tasks that come with what you're truly manifesting? There's a lot of people that say, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire. Do you know what it takes to become a millionaire? Do you know what type of sacrifices it takes? Do you know what involves you having to separate yourself from certain people, you opening your eyes and realizing people are not who they think they are. You're realizing how grimy people can be when it involves money or status or being like of some like of elitist class. So you just want to not get so down and sad when something doesn't work out in your benefit, but be more optimistic about it and be like, thank you, because I learned the blessing and the lesson out of it. And now I can keep moving forward. And typically after you go through a really tough time like that and you keep fighting and they keep knocking you off your pedestal, you getting scraped up, your knee scraped up, your elbow scraped up, you done fell off that pedestal about 15 times, but you keep getting up and readjusting that crown and you keep going. You keep going. And I promise you that rainbow after that storm, whoo, it's so pretty. It's so peaceful. It's so lovely. But anytime you elevate and anytime you take on a new endeavor, be prepared for the obstacles that come with it. There's no such thing as an overnight celebrity. We said that multiple times in this podcast. There's no such thing as everything just you wake up one night and you wake up one day and everything is just perfect peaches and creams. No, it doesn't work like that. So be able to recognize when you're going through the test. Try your best to remain positive and truly believe that you can get through anything. You can't say, oh, yeah, I know I'm going to get through it. And then you're in front of your friends or family and you may be saying that. And then when you go home, you're like, I can't do this shit. It's not going to work out in my benefit. Oh, my God, why did I get myself into this? I hate what was me. Why does this always happen to me? Words are intentional. Words are genuine and they are powerful as hell. Whoever says sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me is a motherfucking liar. Words have power. Words have meaning. So if you're speaking your existence into a negative state, then you're going to fall into that negative state. If you keep saying I'm a fuck nigga, then you a fuck nigga. If you keep saying I'm a hoe, then you're going to turn into a hoe. If you keep saying I'm always broke, then you always going to be broke. Get my drift? So you have to be able to shift your mind. You have to be able to change your mindset. You have to be able to speak power into yourself. Speak power into yourself. And then you also have to be mindful of the people around you that could be bringing you down. You could be around somebody that might say a saying, and between you and that person, that's y'all internal joke. It's something you've been doing for years. But when you say it out loud, you're talking to yourself in a derogatory state of being. So guess what? You're going to keep getting energy in that type of being. You can't speak shit on yourself and expect greatness. You can't want greatness and you move shitty. It don't work like that. And there's a lot of people that cry the woe is me and I'm always going through something and I'm always doing something. Now there's a difference right there. That's when you just need to wake up and realize like it's the shit that you're doing. You're welcoming this type of energy. You're allowing this type of toxicity. You're not setting applicable boundaries. You're not realizing your real worth. You're falling into that mediocrity of this is the way society wants us to act. So I'm going to fall in that boat too. And I'm going to be that same basic dumb Negro that don't know shit, that allow social media to take over their lives, that allow what's going on TV to deter them on what they should be doing. You sitting up watching TV for 9, 10, 12 hours in a day, but you really devoted that same energy into your purpose and your passions and what you really want out of this life and really helping people. So be mindful that you can get through anything. Anything. There's nothing that's out there that you can't get through. There's always a resolution to something, but it takes you shifting your mind. Sometimes you have to go through temporary uncomfortability. And that temporary might not just be a couple of weeks. That temporary could be a year or two. Sometimes you have to go through some things and be extremely uncomfortable to unlearn past conditions, to unlearn what's comfortable, what comes at ease, what's natural to you. And realize that maybe it's natural to you, but maybe it might not be the best route for me to continue going, for me to elevate. Because if it's been natural to you, and at the age that I am, I'm gonna be 38 this year. I'm sorry, 38 years old this year. So if I've been doing something for 38 years that's natural to me, but I'm trying to elevate, it's going to be a little difficult to unlearn that condition. So you got to show yourself some grace and you have to be patient, but you have to realize I can't keep going through this same stuff and I want to get here, but then you're unwilling to change your old habits. You're unwilling to change what you've been doing all this time that has you in the state of being where you're not completely satisfied. It could be that everybody around you is still doing it. So why should I have to change if everybody else is still doing the same thing? But then everybody else still might be low vibrational as fuck. Everybody else still might be toxic. Everybody else might not know what their purpose is in life. So why conform to what everybody else is doing? Don't you want better for yourself? It's okay to step outside the box and do shit by yourself. It's okay for you to figure things out on your own. And it's okay for you to go on your journey on your own because it's not meant for nobody else but you. But some people got to hold on to, want to bring people with them. And it's not what I'm used to. Duh. Because if it was something that you were used to and it got you to where you needed to be, then you wouldn't be complaining and upset with where you at right now. So why not fucking change? Simple. Simple. So be mindful as the closer that you get to transcending to your next frequency, toxicity will appear in all shapes and forms. You're gonna have your best friends coming around telling you not being the same. You're gonna have your family telling you that you acted different. You have your co-workers thinking that you think you better than me because bitch, you've been working at this job for this long, but now you feel like you can just go out and be this boss, entrepreneur and go save the world and do this. Nah, you're not better than me. We at the same level. You have to be mindful that that's the way that people think, and they have a crab in the barrel bucket mind frame. And even though these might be people you love and you genuinely care about, it is what it is because they're not doing what you're doing. So they don't understand the movement that you're making. So as they see that you're getting closer and closer to that dream that you first was telling them about, and they were just like, oh yeah, how are we going to support you? But when they see you getting closer and closer to that, oh, they're going to start bringing your ass down. They're like, oh no, you moving. Come back down to this bucket with us so we can all be miserable together. No, that is not a good move. It is not beneficial for your body. It is not beneficial for your mind nor your soul. So you have to be mindful that this is going to be a win-lose situation because although you experience some really, really uncomfortable situations, which is going to be the lose in that moment because we cannot guarantee what that lose is going to look like for you. I'm not you. I haven't gone through your journey. I have not made the actions that you made. I have not made the decisions that you made. So I don't know what that lose is going to look like for you, but you got to be mindful that that lose is probably going to really, really hurt and sting at that time. And you're probably going to need that you think that you need the people around you that are causing the toxicity and that's causing the lose situation to go down. But you have to be able to come out of the water and stop being drugged down by these people and pay attention to God has something set for you. Matter of fact, all of us got our own gifts that we have set in stone that we're supposed to be giving to the world. But since you are able to see past that and know that, it makes you different. It makes you stand out. It makes you the black sheep. It makes you that generational curse breaker. And that's a hard role to play. And I'm letting you know that because I am that person. There's a lot of generational curses that I've broken, and it's been hard as shit. And it's been lonely sometimes going through those things. But guess what? I got through it. I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm well. I'm peaceful. I'm happy. But most importantly, well, let me not say most importantly, I'm wealthy. But most importantly, peaceful. I'm peaceful. I'm peaceful. Opportunities, time, strategic partnerships. When I want to get up and travel, I go do that. When I want to be a minimalist, I do that. When I want to spend undivided attention with my spouse and my pet, I do that. When I want to spend time with family, I do that. But guess what? When I also want to make moves with global partnerships, I do that as well. And it took some really hard adjusting and changing and setting boundaries and sacrifices and cutting people off and dealing with people at a certain level and being able to realize if you can't respect my time and energy, then I have to put you in this place. And if we still gonna ride together and we still gonna fuck with each other, then we gonna be good. But for right now, I gotta put you right here because I'm trying to make some moves that you're not supporting. I gotta make some moves that you're not understanding. So again, it's going to be a win-lose situation. It's going to be tough when you're going through the hard parts. It's going to be tough when you realize that people are not there for you like you thought they were going to be. It's going to be tough when you realize that these people that you looked up to or that you admired are not who they really are not who would you perceive them as. You might perceive them as this like perfection of a person. You might see them as, oh, well, they're my favorite cousin. They're my favorite brother. They're my favorite, my favorite parent, my favorite auntie. But then they might be the most toxic person in your life that's keeping you down because they're not ready to make their moves, or they might be trying to vicariously live through you. And then they're bringing you down in that process because they did not have the strength and courage to fulfill their own purpose in their life. You cannot allow those people or places or things, situations, actions, whatever you want to call them, affect you. All right. So after you go through this tough time, that's when your win comes through. You see your rainbow. It's the sunshine. Hey, 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 hey. You're going to be feeling good about yourself. And guess what? You're going to go through it again as you continue elevating, as you continue transcending. Only the strongest survive. Let's get that. Like, shout out to my brother because that's something that he like literally beat into my head when I was younger. Only the strongest survive. So you're gonna have your times where you're gonna, like I said, get knocked off your pedestal. You're gonna have your times where you get sad. You're gonna have your times where you're gonna have to like remove yourself from situations and just rejuvenate and have self-care and self-love and things that you should be doing on a weekly basis anyway, if not daily. But you're also have to realize that getting knocked down doesn't mean you have to stay down. And getting deterred from the people that you love or you care about does not have to mean that you have to stay in that level to make them comfortable and to appease them. It doesn't mean that each time that you elevate or you transcend or you go to your next frequency, that you're not going to go through some shit. You're going to go through it each and every time. And I'm going to be really honest about that. But it's a part of the growing process. It's a part of the metamorphosis. I love using the example of a butterfly. When you first start off, you're a caterpillar and you're moving real slow. I can't even think of the name of the book. And I don't even care about telling my age because I already told y'all. But in the late 80s and the early 90s, it was this book about the caterpillar. I think it was the caterpillar. But yeah, it's like the green caterpillar on the front with like the red like head and stuff. But in the book, it talks about how the caterpillar did its thing, then it went into its cocoon, and then it turned into a butterfly. Is each time you go through transcending, that is what the level is like. You are moving at a caterpillar's pace. You got to move slowly. You got to be patient. You got to take your time. You have to analyze. You have to absorb. You have to research. You have to educate yourself. There's a lot that you have to do. And then you get to the point where you're like, okay, I elevated up a level. Then you hit that cocoon, and you might be in this pack, and you might feel suffocated, and you might feel like the walls backing up on you, and you're uncomfortable, and you're trying to move, but you're just stuck in this cocoon because it's making you sit there and take that shit. You're taking the lesson, you're taking the blessings, you're sitting there and you're like infusing it like a sponge. You're just soaking up everything that's going on with you, but you can't break quite out of it because you haven't passed that test, or you haven't hit that level that you need to hit to transcend to your next level. So once you then get there, then you get to turn into the beautiful butterfly. You can float away and be so pretty and be free until it's time to elevate to your next frequency again. That is the process. So be mindful of that when you're going through the 8 frequency of elevation process. This final elevation is authentic activation. Authentic elevation, guys. Do you want to elevate? Do you want to really go there? I see a lot of people that are saying the things that they want, but I think it's more of what you see, what you get out of it. You become rich, you get a status, you get money, you can do certain things, but you want more than that. You want wealth. You want an abundance of health, wellness. You want your physical, emotional, spiritual, um, mental, and financial beings put together. Make sure I said that correctly. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financially. You want all those to be together. You also want to have a sane mind. You don't want to get through all this and be crazy and running yourself ragged and like, oh, F entrepreneurship, or F my purpose, or F what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't want to serve nobody. I don't want to heal nobody. I don't want to educate. You want to make sure that you're staying on the path that you truly desire. And to become truly wealthy, there's just some shit you got to give up. And there's some things you got to change. And there's some sacrifices you have to make. And there's some moves that you have to make that's not meant for anybody else but for you, because it's your purpose and it's your path. So just embrace it, but be mindful that you're gonna go through things, so you can't give up. You're gonna experience things, so you can't just say, oh, they told me no, so I'm done. You have to be ready to take on the obstacles, because after every storm comes a rainbow. Y'all, this is the last frequency that we're going to talk about for this season. Season 3, we're wrapping up. I'm so excited that you guys have been tuning in. I want to send gratitude to all of those who have been supportive of this podcast the last 3 seasons. And so excited that you guys are taking in this information, and I continue to manifest that it's going to be beneficial and essential for you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. You might want to share with somebody that it does resonate with, or you might can take bits and pieces out of there so you can research for yourself and learn what works best for you. All right. So be sure to like our podcast. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment to the podcast and we'll get back with you. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, as we have additional other resources that we do post. Want to give a big shout out to JJ Cicero for the banging intro. But if there's not anything else, guys, we want to manifest a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of the day, remainder of the week. We're going to say a journey ahead as you figure out your purpose in this life and you continue to transcend with NNG. All right, guys, but happy Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. We'll be talking to you next week as we wrap up for the season finale. Peace.